This is just a quick tour to help you know where the files are located when you're trying to edit and do some changes to your BigCommerce store templates. So here we have the classic white template installed, and there's basically two methods. One, after logging in, you'll go to your BigCommerce dashboard, and under the design link you'll visit this, and here you have browse template files, where you can basically access all the files for this template. What's nice is BigCommerce gives you full access to every aspect of the site, including the JavaScript files. So there's pretty much nothing you can't do as far as editing the looks of the site, although some functionality possibly not, because they don't support all programming languages. So you can manually edit each one here, but sometimes it's hard to keep track of the changes you've made that could have broke a site or caused issues that maybe you've customized something. So I prefer, where possible, to use the FTP method. Real briefly, they do have a third method called design mode, where you can kind of drag and drop, but I would avoid this, as you could have issues with dirty code and things not quite looking or displaying correct, because the formatting not being the cleanest. So if you can, editing the files is probably the cleanest way to do it. As far as the FTP method, you have to set up an FTP account through the panel here, which has already been done. But here, once you're connected, you'll see the file structure. So you'll see quite a few different folders, but essentially the one you'll be interested in is this template folder, as this holds the files and folders that make up your default template that's currently active for the store. Now typically when you log in here, this will be completely empty, and that's because if BigCommerce does not find any files here, it automatically uses the file that's the core file in their main system. This is kind of an override section, where if you put any file in here and it has a corresponding file in the core files of the template, BigCommerce will choose this file over the core file that they have in their system. So if you use their file editor here, you're likely editing the core files. If you use the FTP method, you're actually probably editing an override file, where if you delete this file, BigCommerce will use the default one they have as a core file for the template. This way I like, because you can create a file, upload it. This one contains your changes, and if for some reason it causes an issue or breaks it, you can remove it temporarily and BigCommerce will go right back to their default file. So this way you can just see the files that you made custom edits to, and not have hundreds of files to sift through that you may have done nothing to. So you'll see the main template files are the default home page, product detail pages, category pages, brands pages. The style sheets are located here, and for this particular template I set up a custom classic white CSS, which is where you want to keep all the CSS edits, and do not edit, if you don't have to, the actual core files for the CSS. Put everything in here and use important statements to override if necessary, and this way you can keep all your custom CSS in one location where possible. You can also put images in here that are used for your custom CSS, and you'll notice there's certain ways of referencing them so they come up, which you can see in the default customized homepage, and you can kind of look there for reference. But that's pretty much it. So if you need to add any code or make some edits to the layouts, this is a good place to do it using the FTP method. And what I usually do is go ahead and take the one that you have here, upload it to your server, and then after you make your edits, before you re-upload it and overwrite this one, I would actually just rename the original one that you didn't touch with a BAK1, BAK2, so it's still there, and in case something you do breaks it, you can always revert back to the one before you start it.